refocused, realigned, and fully equipped to fulfill our mandate. Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, the Honorable Philip Davis, was in attendance and addressed the cohort.
After 4 months of rigorous training, you brave young women and men have completed the training exercise and are today the newest recruits of the Bahamas Department of Immigration. Today, you are on display for the Bahamas to see. Indeed, you have all come a mighty long way and ought to be very proud of your achievements. We are all here today to celebrate this milestone with you. This is a historic occasion, and it is so on several levels. Squad 2022, you are the first immigration graduating class of this administration, with a class of 169. You are the largest recruits assembled, nearly 3 times the size of previous courses. Most importantly, you are the first class to graduate under the leadership of our new immigration director, Mrs. Keturah Ferguson. She is only the second female director appointed in the Department of Immigration's 83-year history. And I'm advised that the first woman is here present with us. Is Barbara here? Barbara Pear. Glad to see you, Barbara. Therefore, we have the highest expectations of every one of you. I wish to impress upon you the significance of immigration officers to our country's sovereignty and stability. By now, I'm sure you've heard many times that you are responsible for protecting our borders. As we look forward to the Bahamas' 50th independence anniversary, your role is even more crucial in our nation's history.
Director of Immigration Keturah Ferguson congratulated the recruits and told them to strive to make the best of their decision to be immigration officers by remaining reset, refocused, and realigned. Minister of Labor and Immigration, the Honorable Keith Bell, told the recruits they are the smartest and most diverse group and to remain honest and strong in integrity. That is all for this week. Thank you for joining us. Please do join us again next week for another edition of Your Government in Action. I'm your host, Joy Burns-Roger. Good evening.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Coming up in the news, police in Grand Bahama are investigating the circumstances surrounding the shooting death of a man. Plus, the unemployment numbers among the country's youth reportedly at an all-time high. We find out why. And tourism officials say there is an uptick in cruise ship passenger arrivals on the island of Bimini. The island administrator fills us in. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Good evening and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thank you so much for tuning in. Topping news tonight, another man is dead following a second shooting incident to unfold in under 2 weeks on Grand Bahama. Police were called to the area of Frobisher Drive and Hearn Lane, where they met a lifeless body of a male in the driveway of a home. Our Aja Quant was on the scene and filed the latest in this report.
A quiet scene becoming filled with emotions by family members flocking to the scene of the island's latest homicide. This incident taking place shortly after 11 p.m. on Tuesday, where police were called to the scene of an apparent shooting on Fabricia Drive and Hearn Lane. Police discovered a lifeless body of a male who was shot about the body.
Preliminary reports revealed that this male, while outside his residence, along with other persons, was approached by a lone gunman who discharged a weapon in his direction and shot him about the body. EMS attended the scene and found no signs of life.
Meanwhile, there were no injury reports of anyone else in that area, and as for the gunman,
this male would have since left in an unknown direction, making good his escape.
Now, Assistant Superintendent Roll says the victim is known to police. However, when asked if this matter could have been in relation to gang violence, the press liaison officer says
it's too early in the investigation to determine that at this time.
This latest incident taking place less than 2 weeks after a man was shot and killed at a business establishment in the Hunters community. Police say this latest homicide is now under active investigation. A suspect has not been identified in what is now the island's 8th homicide for the year. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Azure Quant.
Well, thanks, Aja. Now, police officials are urging the public with any information on this incident to contact them at 919 or 911, or you may contact the head of the Criminal Investigations Department, Superintendent Darrell Ware, at 350-3106. Well, in other news, over in Abaco, officers on that island arrested a 42-year-old male of Treasure Key, Abaco during Operation Restoration shortly after 7 p.m. on Monday, November 28th. Preliminary police reports indicate that officers executed a search warrant at a residence in Treasure Key. There, they discovered a quantity of suspected cocaine and marijuana at that residence. Investigations into that matter continues. Well, in other news, the youth unemployment in the country has been at a record high for the past 3 years, since the last labor force survey was conducted in 2019. Tonight, our Simone Davis speaks with the Director of Labor about the employment challenges faced by the youth on Grand Bahama and what his department is doing to address these mounting concerns.
While students graduate high school and college every year expecting to enter the workforce, many of them are challenged with securing a job due to the lack of opportunities on the island. The latest labor force survey released back in 2019 by the Department of Statistics revealed that at that time, youth unemployment had been pegged at around 33%, which, according to the Department of Labor's Director, Robert Farquharson, is significantly higher than the usual rate of 10%.
The unemployment rate among young people is classified from ages 17 to ages 29. So we know there is a significant increase above the normal unemployment rate. The normal unemployment rate at that time was 10.8%. But for young people, at that time, it was, like I say, close to 33%. And it's not unique to the Bahamas. Actually, unemployment rate amongst young people is, we see the same trends in a number of Caribbean countries, South and North America.
However, according to Farquharson, another major cause for concern is youth not being properly trained or skilled to perform on a job site, which denies them access to gainful employment.
Many of our partners in the employment field, people who look at high people, have said to us that some of the young people are not prepared for the labor market. They don't have a number of skills, particularly soft skills. And so the Department of Labor is working hand in hand with a number of government agencies and the private sector to see if we can identify these weaknesses and focus on them.
So what is the Department of Labor doing to combat these issues? Well, Farquharson explains some of the initiatives they've implemented to put a dent in youth unemployment.
The National Training Agency has a job readiness program, which has been very, very successful in preparing people for the labor market. We are working with BTBI. They have they call it a job placement program. It's called a dual enrollment program, where persons in grade 10, 11, grade 12 have the option to go to finish high school and attend BTBI at the same time. And so we have a number of young men and women who have enrolled in masonry and carpentry, and it's designed whereby they can spend part of their school is at BTVI to learn the trade and become certified.
The labor director notes that a new labor force survey should be conducted in January of next year. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Simone Davis.
Well, meantime, the island of Bimini is reporting an uptick in cruise ship arrivals this year. This according to the island administrator, Desiree Ferguson. Our J. Philippe recently traveled to the island and filed this update.
Desiree Ferguson was appointed as island administrator for Bimini on December 15, 2021. Prior to Bimini, Ferguson served as island administrator on Long Island for 3 years. Since arriving to Bimini, Ferguson says there's been an uptick on cruise ship arrivals on the island this year, with plans for additional ships to make inaugural voyages to Bimini as early as next year.
Cruise ship comes in. We have the Carnival Cruise Line. We have the Virgin Cruise Line, and we just got the sister to the Virgin Cruise Line. They made their first visit here, and that's called the Valiant Lady, and she'll be coming in every two weeks. And then we just had another one came in, the Serenade. They'll be coming in every 2 weeks.
Ferguson adds that the opening of the new government office complex has welcomed more traffic to the various offices.
We have the gaming board. They are here already. The National Insurance. A lot of traffic is here from there. They are also in the building. We have Ministry of Fisheries, Port Department, our administrator's office is here. And the court is functioning very well. We have a magistrate comes in every 3 months. So you'll see a big crowd out here for court. We have the Ministry of Tourism. They should be moving in shortly.
With hurricane season officially ending November 30th, Administrator Ferguson says Bimini was fortunate to not experience severe weather this year, but hopes that more precautions should be in place for the 2023 hurricane season.
What I gathered from the last tropical storm, we need sea walls to be built in, because if you notice coming around, you'll see the erosion from the sea. Once we get some of that done, we will be okay, but I don't think we could stand nothing more than a Category 2, not here on the island. Our best bet is to evacuate.
A main focus of her first year as administrator has been the cleanup of the island.
We have the bins, all are covered. If you notice, we have covers all over the island, so everybody's uniformed as it relates to bins here. So we're cleaning it up a bit, so we're trying to get that sorted out.
After stints on Long Island and Abaco, the former law enforcement officer says there is much more work to be done on the island of Bimini. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm J. Philippe.
The Grand Bahama Port Authority wrapping up Day 2 of Invest Grand Bahama's Small Business Symposium at the Pelican Bay Hotel today, with a keen focus on corporate culture and tourism. Our Simone Davis was on hand and has the details in this report.
Day 2 of the Emerge Grand Bahama Small Business Symposium kicked off at 9 o'clock this morning as presenters and panelists discussed funding for small businesses, rethinking corporate culture, economic growth and development, tourism, and opportunities as it relates to cannabis legislation. The first speaker of the morning was President and CEO of Falco, Glynette Fowler, who says this type of forum is beneficial to the economy in many ways.
This was a very important symposium. It's just because we've come out of such a depressed time with the pandemic, and really getting persons to understand the advantages they have that still exist, the new opportunities in the marketplace, and expanding their horizon and thinking about how it is that they do business in the country and even in the region. So I thought it was a very important conference to be a part of, and that the Grand Bahama Port Authority and the Chamber decided to do it as a collaborative event.
There was also a panel discussion that focused on solidifying Grand Bahama's brand as the technology hub of the nation and creating future jobs for the country. Chief Investment Officer at the Grand Bahama Port Authority, Derek Newbold, also giving an update on current investment projects on the island, including Carnival Cruise Line, running Mon Marina, and Six Senses.
The Carnival Cruise Port project, for example, we've already commenced preliminary land clearing. And as early as next month, you can expect civil works to commence. Exquisite Yachts are the new owners of Running One Marina and the resort. And they are at the point now where they are undergoing renovations and repairs. The plans for Freeport that Weller is proposing are extremely extensive. And if half of those plans come to fruition, it's going to be extremely transformational for the city and the island of Grand Bahama.
Newbold also sharing what residents can expect in the near future.
Over the next 12 months, you can expect to hear announcements on a major development taking place on the former Fort Lukai Resort and Yacht Club site, in addition to the marina. There's another significant real estate development that we'll probably be announcing in the next few months that's focused on high-end luxury condos and homes. There's also there's an upscale, a utility grade rather. There's a utility grade solar power plant that we'll be announcing. In fact, there could be 2 or 3 of them that we're announcing next year.
Vendors participating in the symposium includes Majestic Images, Canoe, Leslie Trade, Stratacular, Vision Productions, Russ Mill Safety, and more. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Simone Davis.
Well, today marks the end of the official hurricane season, and residents can start to breathe a sigh of relief. However, weather officials continue to advise residents not to let their guards down just yet.
But I think people at this particular time, particularly in the Bahamas, should feel particularly blessed. The fact that we escaped so many of them.
Bizarre, deadly, and destructive are some of the words used to describe the 2022 Atlantic hurricane season by weather experts. Chief Meteorologist Kirk James says Bahamians should be thankful.
We just had a brush. Nicole was our featured storm, and that was late in the season. But the season had some very interesting features. Very slow start. Okay, we know that this August was the second August, I think, on record that there was no name storm for the entire month. And second no-name storm in probably about 60 years. The record goes far back, so that's very, very interesting. September, where we had most of the activity.
Over 300 fatalities were recorded during the 2022 season. He says it is no wonder why it is described as devastating.
What's interesting about Nicole, that set a record also for the U.S. It says this was Nicole was the second time that you ever had, or the 4 to 6 storms they had in November. Second time one came in from the east. That's totally rare.
And although the Bahamas has made it through, experts predict more intense storms developing in the future.
Simply because of warmer ocean temperatures, you say, and climate change. Interesting, a lot of different factors affected. You have wind shear, you have to take into account ocean temperature, whether it's El Nino or La Nina, a lot of factors to be considered. Now, it is said that those in the hurricane belt, not just the Bahamas, the entire Caribbean, those in the hurricane zone, they should analyze this year's experience to see how we can improve in terms of preparedness for next year.
But as far as predictions are concerned for 2023, the chief meteorologist says not to think so far out. Be grateful to have made it out of the 2022 season.
Blessed. The Lord was most gracious to us this year. Most gracious.
The Port Lukai Market Square expected to be abuzz with excitement during the 8th annual Christmas concert tree lighting ceremony. That story and a whole lot more, including the latest in sports, with Jay Philippe when we come back.
Apostles Tony and Ann Grant and the Agape House family invite you to join us as we celebrate our 20th church and pastoral anniversary. Beginning Tuesday, November 29th at 7 p.m. with a night of praise and worship. Wednesday, November 30th at 11 a.m. with our Glory Revival day session. And our evening sessions Wednesday, November 30th and Thursday, December 1st at 7 p.m. On Friday, we celebrate with a night of elegance at our gala dinner at 7 p.m. Tickets are just $80. Then on Sunday, December 4th, don't miss our Glory Worship experience at 9 a.m. p.m. Our entire celebration will be held at the Agape House Glory Dome, number 23 and 24 Pioneers Loop. For more information, call 352-4273.
Park and Shop is having a Thanksgiving sale, 25% off excluding all red tag items. And Dollar Plus has 20% off all Christmas decorations, November 24th through the 30th.
With the holiday season fast approaching, Conant Bahamas says it's time for those window and cabinet upgrades. In stock now are white shaker cabinets, Swiss chocolate, Ovaltine brown, and Hello Milo cabinets. And if you're looking for windows, Conant Bahamas has PVC sliding windows, casement and hurricane sliding impact windows. Conant Bahamas on Queens Highway. Enhance your home in ways that beautify and last. Open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturdays, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Welcome to the beautiful Raven Mall, the Freeport Mall that has it all. Centrally located within the heart of Grand Bahama, offering you and your family a unique and memorable experience. Shop over 80 stores and restaurants, all under one roof. Stay heart healthy and in shape at two of the largest fitness centers in Freeport. Dine at one of our scrumptious restaurants. Enjoy Bahamian delicacies, Mexican tacos, vegan options, healthy snacks, sandwiches, subs, smoothies, lattes, wine and spirits, and more. Shop at one of our stylish stores. Clothing boutiques for the entire family. From newborn to jewelry, footwear, electronics, pets, gift ideas, home decor, flowers, health, and beauty. Unwind at one of our trendy hair and nail salons, or just stop in and enjoy our beautiful and comfortable atmosphere. So come on in and enjoy fantastic savings with the stores at the Raven Mall. Dine, shop, and unwind. Located West Atlantic Drive, Freeport, Grand Bahama.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. It is a holiday favorite and just one of several festivities earmarked for each weekend in the month of December. The Port Lakaya Square expected to be abuzz with excitement during the 8th annual Christmas concert tree lighting ceremony scheduled for Saturday, December 3rd at 7:30 p.m. Marketing and entertaining manager Sieska Jones revealing that pent-up demand drew a large crowd last year, but she expects this upcoming event to be even better.
What you can expect is a jaw-dropping performance, as we always have when we have our Christmas concerts. You can expect entertainment from different schools throughout the island of Grand Bahama, different churches, as well as the community of Grand Bahama. Last year we had our Christmas concert, but we were still under the COVID restrictions. But now that we're fully open, we've been getting a lot of inquiries on this concert. Like, everybody is ready. So we're ready and we're eager. We're going to have the Bahamas Dance Theater. Of course, they always give us an awesome performance. And then we also have Rockin' Robin here, who's going to be doing our Fire Limbo.
This year's theme is December to Remember. Jones adds that attendees will be in for a treat with special performances from artists like Wizard 242 and Papa Smurf. Santa Claus will also be on hand to spread some holiday cheer with the children.
Concert is going to be a spectacular one. I want the community of Grand Bahama to come down, bring your children. I know, of course, those parents whose children will be participating in the concert will be right here to cheer their little ones on. But I want everybody to come out and let's have a grand time in Grand Bahama.
Now on December 10th, Port Lakaya will also host a children's movie night, and on the 16th, a Christmas stocking giveaway, after which there will be a live band every weekend leading up to the traditional fireworks show on New Year's Eve. Well, Urban Renewal Seahorse Center hosting a number of young people from ages 10 to 17 at a youth empowerment seminar over the weekend. Youth empowerment leader Floyd Drika Russell says this initiative was brought about to guide and assist with the various issues some of the youth may face in today's society.
A lot of children these days, they getting bullied in school, pick on because of their size, or we get a lot of them trying to commit suicide. So I just want to let them know, or we just want to let them know that, hey, someone you can come and talk to. Even if they come and knock on Urban Renewal door, just let them know that we're here for them.
Guest speaker Tavaro Hanna from Church of Christ in 8 Mile Rock and center manager Kyla Tenor-Knowles say topics such as cyberbullying, peer pressure, and self-confidence will be discussed.
There are some topics we will touch about because they are some valuable points that we need to touch on here in the schools today. We plan to bring out more topics, more speakers, and we're trying to enhance and reach out to the broader community of East Grand Bahama. We want to touch all of the schools.
A Bahamian producer and director is sharing his newest hit in the form of audio drama. He speaks with our Jolanda Thompson-Everest about his theatrical work surrounding a young man facing hard times and how he decides to reconcile with moving forward.
The story is all about freedom. Director Ruckus Mann, through his writing, shares a story about a young man receiving just that, freedom, but now at a crossroad, trying to figure out some decisions to make. This audio drama called Left Behind is there to give you steps on how to navigate through pain and misfortune. The director furthers that the young man is deciding whether or not to continue on a path to salvation, or does he seek revenge for his plans and retribution? He tells us how this idea came about.
Well, Bahamians are excellent storytellers. I was also inspired by, as a youth, on ZNS. There was story time, and the stories were very captivating, and it forced you to use your imagination and bring the images that you heard to life. So I'm just trying to evolve that particular medium, that art form here in the Bahamas.
Mann says he wanted to portray a message to his audience that is engaging and purposeful for all to empathize with.
I chose this because people who face challenges, they want to identify with a particular character. They want to learn something from a particular character. They may not necessarily know how to move forward, how to deal with the emotions that they feel, how to process them. It's certainly based on a lot of my experiences. So, I wanted to convey a message, but at the same time tell a compelling story. And so I think my stellar cast and I have done that.
Okay, now this is Mr. Dwayne King plays the father role of the main character, and he says after reading the script he was elated to participate. King says he believes the audio drama will inspire young people to respond differently to violence.
A lot of young people are angry because they don't know how to express themselves, and there are many forms of expressions that are positive. And if they were to listen to this audio drama, they can identify, because you had to deal with incarceration, you had to deal with drug dealing, you had to deal with God and church. It's such a complexity of different things going on, which is relevant to what goes on today.
Tickets for the audio drama Left Behind can be found on a crowdfunding website called Ko-fi.com. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Jolanda Thompson-Everest.
Thanks, Jolanda. Well, your Wednesday evening check on sports is up next with Jay Philippe.
Good evening, I'm Jay Philippe, and welcome to sports. Former junior and senior standout athlete Jonathan Farquharson has taken his talents from the track now to fitness. Here's an update.
The first Body by Johnny Run and Walk was a rousing success. Held in an effort to bring awareness to breast cancer, a number of participants and organizations showed up in full support. After a quick warm-up led by Alice Williams, it was time to race. The route started and ended at the Grand Bahama Sports Complex, and taking first place was Karen Barr, who wasn't fazed by the challenging course.
The course was pretty difficult, being that I haven't run in a few months, but challenging. Muscle memory kicked in quick.
For immediate pass coordinator for Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated, Elsina Duncombe, and sports officer in the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture, Philip Owens, they say they were happy to be a part of the process and thankful for everyone that participated.
We spoke with some persons who are participating. Some of them are 10-year survivors, 5-year survivors, and so forth. And so we're very happy this morning to be a part of this event.
So we just really appreciate everybody for showing up and enjoy the camaraderie amongst one another.
Full proceeds of the event went to the Cancer Association of Grand Bahama. For ZNS Total Sports, I'm Shane Stubbs.
Switching gears now in track and field, the B3As has been hitting the Family Islands as part of its initiative to grow the sport of track and field throughout the country. President Trimiko Archer.
It seems as though there's been a shift, and the Family Island community is looking forward to a new a new dimension into their way of life, and track and field has become just that. And so it's really good to see how the Family Islands are. The sleeping giant of the Family Island is awakening, and they're fully engaged in what we're doing. Inagua, for a small island like Inagua, the report was that they had 67 athletes who were participating. And then, of course, a much larger island, Abaco, you had more than 200 athletes.
Staying with track and field over on the island of Abaco, the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture held an all-distance meet this past weekend where athletes from Grand Key, Cooperstown, Sandy Point, and even Moss Island was in attendance. The track meet was part of the Abaco National Sports Month celebrations. And that's a quick check on sports, ladies and gents. I'm Jay Philippe. Be blessed.
Keeping the temperature right with Bethel's Air Conditioning and Refrigeration, specializing in servicing of units, unit repairs, duct cleaning, prevention maintenance, project consultation, contractual services, and marine services.
With over 30 years of service with integrity, services in Abaco, New Providence, and Grand Bahama, providing modern and state-of-the-art equipment, specializing in the maintenance and operation of waste treatment plants, waste oil movement, sludge extraction, tank cleaning, elite portable toilets, and hand wash stations. We are efficient, reliable, and cutting edge. We are B&B Galaxy.
Festival Noel is back. Friday, December 2nd at the Rand Nature Center. Wine tasting, art exhibition, live music and entertainment, cigar lounge, and culinary experiences.
We just got the new fiber internet speed bump. Now my internet's so fast I can watch 2 4K movies, play video games, and browse on my computer at the same time.
Yeah, my internet's so fast I could download a whole season of shows before my noodles run cooking.
Mine's so fast when I go to church online, service actually over early.
Mine's so fast when I'm working from home, 5 o'clock, come before 3.
Sound like you got this BTC fiber internet speed bump like me.
And it's so fast I had to have it.
Current fiber internet bundle customers now have as much as 3 times the speed. Totally free. Link up with BTC.
Ice the coconut got this, cocoa skin driven madness, juiciness ice the back this, sweet like a sugar in a dripping like ice honey, addict, all the men love me, sweet like a sugar in a watch it go ba-ba-ba-ba, watch it go ba-ba-ba-ba, watch it go ba-ba-ba-ba, watch it go ba-ba-ba-ba, sweet like a sugar in a
new Click Platinum flavor, flavored beers with a kick of rum. Make it platinum.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Our Facebook friend of the day is Beatrice Stubbs. We say thank you for always watching ZNS Northern Service, and we hope you enjoyed your birthday. And that concludes the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. On behalf of the entire news team here in the North, I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to stay tuned as the Bahamas Tonight continues.
Tonight, the National Report, a possible bridge toll hike on the table. No regrets for former FDX CEO. Tragedy hits an inner-city family. And World Relays return to the Bahamas. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, starts now.
ZNS News is linked up by BTC. Whether it's chatting, gaming, content creating, or working smart to get things done, link up to stay connected with BTC.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Makush Lopinder with the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Thanks for tuning in.
Heavy accusations leveled at the government, and it's coming from the mouths of Bahamas National Alliance Trade Union Congress execs who are decrying the Davis administration's alleged union-busting tactics. The standoff between the two stemming from salary increases, with a return to the negotiating table set for this week. LaDawn Davis has the details in this report.
President of the Bahamas Public Services Union, Kimsley Ferguson, says he was taken aback by a circulation letter he received referencing proposed salary increases and responsibility allowances for executives and line staff workers of the Public Services Union on Tuesday evening. Increases, Ferguson stated at a press conference Wednesday, that were never negotiated.
The concern today that we do have is if it was proposed, when was it discussed and agreed to on behalf of public servants. And so we are indeed very concerned that the government has decided to unilaterally implement particular things into the agreement. We are not saying that the government cannot pay monies, but being the sole bargaining agent for public servants and being the president of the Bahamas Public Services Union, we are confirming to date that we have not met with the government to sign off on any particular item in the industrial agreement.
The BPSU president added that this industrial agreement was presented in 2018 and there were some non-financial aspects that were not signed and needed to be discussed further, but that has yet to happen. However, Ferguson says the union will not be signing off on the following responsibility allowance increases.
The union's counter-proposal to the government, we had asked that the finance and accounting officers receive a responsibility allowance of $3,600. A counter-proposal was sent back to the union, dismissing and not even giving consideration thereto. But in the face of it, it was agreed that Cabinet Secretary, Financial Secretary, Permanent Secretaries, Directors, and so on will receive a $6,000 increase, inclusive also of the singular increment plus their normal increment, which amounts to some $8,000 as an annual increase, divided by 12, gives them a $666.67 monthly increase. The annual increase, it almost exceeds the salaries of persons at minimum wage. And if the government is in possession of this type of funding and refuses to bring the individuals at the lower end of the scale to a point where they can be competitive with the cost of living, we are indeed concerned.
President of the Bahamas National Alliance Trade Union Congress, Belinda Wilson, maintains while the union will not stand in the way of employers paying funds to its employees, the Congress has zero tolerance when the labor laws are not followed. The union remains hopeful an amicable agreement is settled with the government before the end of the week in order for public servants to enjoy a happy Yuletide season. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm LaDawn Davis.
Now, the Ministry of Public Service issuing an equally strong response to the Bahamas Public Services Union, making it clear that officials are ready to complete negotiations as soon as the union's formal response to the government's latest proposal is communicated. The Ministry of Public Service, in a statement today, insists the BPSU and the government are ultimately on the same side when it comes to salary increases for public servants. However, they feel the absence of a response from the BPSU, whether intended or not, continues to have the unfortunate effect of delaying this mutually desired outcome. The release further notes that any effort on the government's end to ensure salary increases are rolled out before the end of the year should rightly be viewed as a priority. Now, given the years of stagnation in salaries as well as the impact of inflation, the Ministry of Public Service believes all public servants will welcome incremental increases, especially before the holiday season. That said, the government again offers the BPSU to meet with the ministry's Labor Relations Unit to discuss any outstanding issues with the existing offer. Public services officials remind public servants that they will still receive a public service minimum wage increase as well as incremental increases at multiple salary levels. Well, from one thorny issue to another, former FTX CEO Sam Bankman-Fried says the Securities Commission of the Bahamas never gave him permission to prioritize Bahamian withdrawals from the company after FTX filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in the United States, but says he stands by the decision. The admission coming during an interview with YouTuber Tiffany Fung, during which Bankman-Fried revealed he had alerted the commission about the move but never received a response. The comments follow Bankman-Fried's November 10th tweet that FTX Digital Markets had begun to facilitate Bahamian withdrawals per its Bahamian headquarters regulation, something the commission denied. This the same day the crypto giant suspended international withdrawals, the Securities Commission froze its assets in the Bahamas, and the Supreme Court appointed a provisional liquidator. Bankman-Fried explains his actions.
I gave them a heads up, a one-day heads up that we were going to do it. They didn't say yes or no. They didn't respond, and then we did it. The reason I did it was critical to the exchange of being able to have a future, because that's where I am right now. And you do not want to be in the country with a lot of angry people in it, and you do not want your country to be incorporated in a country with a lot of angry people in it.
Bankman-Fried also addressed the optics of the move in giving preferential treatment to Bahamians.
It wasn't insider withdrawals. No, this was trying to create a regulatory pathway forward for the exchange. And that the company was about to be assigned a provisional liquidator. And that the company was about to be assigned a provisional liquidator.
And we'll have more on SBF's interview with Tiffany Fung on Thursday. Now, just to be clear, the Securities Commission of the Bahamas has emphasized that it has not directed, authorized, or suggested to FTX Digital Markets Limited the prioritization of withdrawals for Bahamian clients. The Commission's most recent release notes that such transactions may be characterized as voidable preferences under the insolvency regime, and consequently results in clawing back funds from Bahamian customers. The Securities Commission maintains it doesn't condone the preferential treatment of any investor or client of FTX Digital Markets Limited or otherwise. And still on FTX's fallout, the company's joint provisional liquidators expressing significant uncertainty around the outcome of proceedings involving FTX Digital. The liquidators disclosing at the onset that their work has been hampered by their lack of access to FTX's digital's books and records, particularly customer information stored on cloud-based servers. That said, the joint provisional liquidators confirming in a statement today that they haven't made any redundancies, and employees who remain employed with FTX Digital as of the provisional liquidation order date and had not resigned or indicated their intention to resign will continue to be retained by FTX Digital until further notice. Any current FTX Digital Markets employee who wants to discuss his or her role at FTX Digital and not their employment can email the Joint Provisional Liquidator team, and that's at bs_employees_FTX_FDM@pwc.com.
Hi, this is Chief Meteorologist Basil Dane with your final tropical weather update brought to you by BTC and CBS Bahamas. Well, the season comes to an official end at the stroke of midnight, and we had a somewhat average season with some 14 named storms out of the 14. 8 of those made it to hurricane intensity, and out of those 8 hurricanes, we had 2 major hurricanes this year. This has been your final tropical weather update brought to you by BTC and CBS Bahamas.
This portion of the news was brought to you by Sun Oil Limited Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
are trying to accomplish.
I can need a little help with this part of this.
We're here to let you know that you don't have to go at it alone. Choose peace of mind. Choose comfort. Choose CB. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
We just got the new fiber internet.
Download a whole season of shows before my noodles run cooking.
Mine so fast, when I go to church online, service actually over early.
Mine so fast, when I'm working from home, 5 o'clock, come before 3.
Sound like you got this BTC fiber internet speed bump like me.
And it's so fast, I had to have it.
Current fiber internet bundle customers now have as much as 3 times the speed. Totally free. Link up with BTC.
We need to save.
Be happy! Save at KFC with the one-piece chicken box fill-up for only $5.95. Enjoy genuine savings and the genuine flavor of KFC chicken fried to golden perfection with crispy fries, a buttery biscuit, and an ice-cold Pepsi. Only at KFC Nassau.
Trouble, it might drag you down. If you get lost, you can always be found. Just know you're not alone. 'Cause I'm gonna make this place your home.
To think of the bank as my personal ATM machine. If I wanted a new car, new furniture, a weekend trip to Miami, no problem. Just max out the credit card or top up my loan. I was a big baller until I realized that 75% of my salary was going to pay back all those loans. Fidelity's personal financial coaching was the best solution. Fidelity gave me a plan with a debt consolidation loan that has a built-in savings that pays 5% for in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit any of Fidelity's locations or visit a website at fidelitygroup.com.
The new year could bring with it a hike in fees for heavy trucks.
Hoyte Bridge and the Eastern Bridge heading from Paradise Island into Nassau may have to pay more next year for the journey. Chairman of the Bridge Authority, Basil Longley, says assessments on the two bridges will be done in 2023 and fees may have to be adjusted in order to boost revenue. This will help fund necessary work on the two structures to ensure their operational safety.
Everything would create a problem, but certainly we may need to look at fees, adjusting fees to deal with that, right? I mean, because the truckers are running a business, they're making money, right? And all of this waste and everything else traverses the bridge, and it is having an impact. We know that for sure. The amount of impact, we don't know, and that's what the study will reveal.
The Bridge Authority chairman assured that a comprehensive maintenance plan is in place for the two bridges, which he says is executed on an annual basis by the maintenance team, while inspections are carried out on a routine basis. He indicated that new assessments of the structures will be done in 2023, including a
heavy equipment. For example, when construction is going on, right? There'll be demolition of buildings, and then you would have trucks coming over empty. When they leave loaded, right, with concrete, steel, everything on it. We don't have any way of monitoring the weight of those vehicles now. Common sense would tell us that, that is something that's critical and we need to do it. And
is in place to carry out any major repairs should it become necessary.
Is to say that funding is not an issue for the Bridge Authority. The Bridge Authority is not subsidized by government. We run the Bridge Authority as a corporation. We have our revenue sources and we have our cost associated with that. And we manage all of it thanks to the management team of the Bridge Authority.
Efforts continue to provide the best service to the public. For the Bahama
cooperation with South Korea. And this in light of that country's experience and expertise on such developments. Making a case, Mitchell told a news agency the Bahamas has 3 or 4 airports that need to be redeveloped immediately. The same in the case of some of its hotels. South Korea is considered one of the leading nations in terms of airport development, with Incheon International Airport being named the world's best for a record-breaking 12 consecutive years in the annual Airport Service Quality Awards. Mitchell's our first foreign minister to make an official visit to South Korea in 34 years. He's there for an annual high-level South Korea-Caribbean Partnership Forum. And aside from that, there's the opportunity to have one-on-one talks with that country's top diplomat, Park Jin. During that conversation, the minister raised the possibility of appointing an honorary consul here. The Bahamas established diplomatic ties with South Korea back in 1985. Meantime, Tourism, Investments and Aviation Minister and Deputy Prime Minister, the Honorable Chester Cooper, wrapping up his 4-day trip to Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, where he's attending the 22nd World Travel and Tourism Council. Global government and travel industry leaders are gathering under the theme Travel for a Better Future in hopes of aligning efforts to support the sector's recovery and move beyond to a safer, more resilient. In Arnold Donald, Vice Chair of Carnival Corporation. The minister also spoke with Saudi's Foreign Affairs Minister and Belize's Minister of Tourism. The tourism delegation is expected back home on Thursday. In news from the police this evening, an inner-city family struggling tonight with a roller coaster of emotions following an overnight mishap that ended the death of a young family member. The incident taking place around 6 p.m. Tuesday just off East Street. According to police, a flatbed truck was towing a trailer west along Kwaku Street the same time a 9-year-old boy was riding his bicycle west along the same street. Reports are that they collided. The boy was rushed to hospital in a private vehicle where he later died from his injuries. The incident on the heels of numerous traffic fatalities and care. The Court of Appeal has refused to overturn the conviction and sentences of appellant Shanda Ambrista, who's serving time in prison on firearm and ammunition charges. Ambrista applied for an extension of time to appeal his conviction and sentences, citing his lack of funds and the Bahamas Department of Corrections' failure to provide him with the necessary form for his appeal. After hearing from both sides, the court found, among other things, that Ambrista's intended appeal had no prospect for success. The panel then refused his application and affirmed his conviction and sentences. Arriving by the busloads, 174 Haitian nationals, men, women, and children this morning boarded a Bahamas airplane one by one for the flight back home. As seen in this video, the migrants all wearing masks in line with health protocols. On the Road to 50 nationwide campaign officially launched, and behind the initiative, a push to encourage residents across the country to become fully engaged in the celebrations and events leading up to the country's Golden Jubilee next year. The campaign kicks off with an anniversary road race this coming Saturday. Here's Superintendent Paul Cash from the Road Traffic Division on pending road closures.
Measures will be put in place as of Friday evening. That'll be the 2nd. But the initial road closure would not take place until 5 a.m. on Saturday morning. So between the hours of 5 and 12, we will have major road diversions and closures in place, starting from the area of Chippingham Road and all the way to East Bay Street in the area of Montague. That means every major road that leads up to the area of the starting point, which is at the Fort Charlotte, I assume, Clifford Park, all of those major roads will be closed.
Well, now time for the weekly poll question, and this week we're asking, have you ever experienced or witnessed acts of domestic violence? To participate, simply log on to our website, and that's www.znsbahamas.com, as well as any of our social media platforms to answer. The poll's final results will be aired on Friday, and as always, Thanks for participating. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight. The National Report returns in a moment.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home health care supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price. And you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
Is someone gonna get that?
Hello.
Hello. It's so nice of you to have cleaned up for us. Hi, baby.
We're like in-laws that don't show up unannounced.
Don't worry. I've got this.
CG Atlantic. Good like that.
Tourism today. Bahamas tourism today.
From the Bahamas to Saudi Arabia, Deputy Prime Minister, the Honorable I. Chester Cooper, spoke about market trends and predictions on a recent panel at the 22nd World Travel and Tourism Council Global Summit.
Tourism is 50% of our gross domestic product in Bahamas and accounts for 65% roughly indirectly for jobs. So as you would imagine, we experience adversity during the COVID crisis, but there is a saying that out of adversity comes opportunity. So we've had an opportunity, the world has had an opportunity to reimagine tourism. United States, Canada, UK, Europe, we are working on many emerging markets like the Middle East areas, as well as Latin America. In terms of seamlessness, there's some work to be done globally. Whilst I'm very optimistic about the capability of the technology, I'm not so optimistic about eliminating the bureaucracy. I think this is an evolution, and I think we will get there, as we see with immigration policy, as we see with the harmonization of data protection laws. We're going to see more digital e-visas. We're going to see more waivers of visas from places like the Kingdom to the Caribbean, where you can have multi-destination travel around the Caribbean in a seamless way. Or you can come to the Bahamas and move onward to the USA, haven't gone through pre-clearance, and have a seamless transition by travel.
For more information about the 22nd WTTC Global Summit, visit Bahamas.com. I'm Joshua Robbins, and this is Tourism Today.
Only hours left before the Nassau Grouper season closes. Come December 1st through February 28th, 2023, no one will be allowed to take, land, process, sell, or even offer any grouper for sale except where taking or landing is carried out with the written approval of the Director of Marine Resources for scientific research or educational purposes. Additionally, no one can land any grouper unless its head, tail, and skin are intact. All fishers and processors are requested to submit reports of their Nassau grouper inventories at the close of the season, and are also reminded a request for a permit to sell the resource during the closed season would have to be made to the Department of Marine Resources. An initiative's launched that will hopefully bring some cheer to school-aged children on Cat Island. The Gift of Giving, a collaborative effort of the Artist Movement, or BAM, and nonprofit organization Roots of Change. The latter's co-founder, Melissa Allen Maynard, shares some more about the event.
BAM and ROC have partnered with the spouse of the Prime Minister, Mrs. Anne Marie Davis, alongside the Minister of State for Social Services and Urban Renewal, Revolutionize, the Honorable Lisa Ramey and her department, who will be on the grounds with us, giving back to the community of Cat Island this holiday season.
Well, meantime, BAM CEO Rowena Poitier-Sutherland touches on why they selected the children of Cat Island.
Decided to do this because we want to be the change that we wish to see in our communities. And what better way to launch this initiative, to launch the initiatives of Roots of Change, than through bringing joy to children this holiday season. And so we are honored that Ms. Anne Marie Davis, the spouse of the Prime Minister, has actually partnered with us to ensure that this happens.
Well, keeping with the spirit of giving is a local entrepreneur, Calvin Davis, owner of Elite Gear and a product of the Bain and Grandstown community, recently hosted a Thanksgiving lunch give back on the Meeting Street Park to put smiles on the faces of those who may need it.
This is the season for giving. The Christmas season is upon us as well, and that is also a season for giving. So why not start the season off with a bang? This year, the past 2 years have been a hard time for Bahamian citizens, persons around the world in general. So anything, put a smile on people's face, I'm down with it.
Well, as we head to the break, we'd like to thank all our viewers watching us live on our social media platforms. And just in case you missed the news, be sure to head there to catch up. Stay with us. There's more to come after the break.
For hurricane season, we got impact windows and doors. For protection, just come to our store. Plus we got tiles to pretty up your walls and your floors. We'll help you brighten up for that big bad storm. Porcelain tiles, blank tiles, mosaic tiles, a variety of styles. Big 14s get right, they gotta be rough. That's why we got the best deals in the whole Bahamas. Hey, hey, best of the best.
Man, we up in the Bahamian country. We up in our kitty. We got the best in the Bahamian food. Boat racing all day in the water. Best of the best, bring me the, bring me the, best bit, show me, only the best of the best. Man, bring me up boat.
Ah, well, ain't no more slopping up now. We outside December 1st to the 4th. The best of the best we got on Monaco Beach. You can find a rooster faucets in Class A, B, C, and E.
What if I told you that the future is here? That is not some magical door we walk through, but a place we create. It's home. The place where you can download a 2-hour movie in seconds and stay connected to loved ones even when traveling far from home. The fastest, most secure, and reliable way to stream the internet so you can do what you want, whenever you want. Where internet moves at lightning speeds, smoother and more reliable than anything you've ever seen. This future-proof technology can take you to worlds that you can only imagine. That's the power of Alive Fiber. The future is here. The future is home. The future is Alive Fiber.
Join up for life insurance. Secure the ones that you love. Join up with Family Guardian. We offer full protection. Join the family. Join the family. Family Guardian. Protect the ones you love. A friend that you can trust. Family Guardian.
The biggest international high school basketball tournament is coming to the Kendall G. Isaacs Gym. You've seen them go viral on social media. Now come and see them in person. December 16th and 17th, catch the biggest names in high school basketball. Get your tickets today from any Suncash location. Download the app or purchase them online at hoops.mysuncash.com or using the QR code on your screen. Hoopfest in paradise, where stars are born.
Shell
Unleaded improves your fuel economy, giving increased miles per gallon, allowing you to do more of what you really want. Special additives used in Shell Unleaded improve your engine's efficiency. So go further with Shell Unleaded. Venture out to beaches, Junkanoo, and festivals and bring home memories that will last a lifetime. Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
The most rewarding time of the year. To RBC, get a loan to buy whatever. RBC makes it better. Get a loan and don't pay till New Year.
Make Christmas what you want it to be with a personal loan from RBC. Apply at rbc.com/Caribbean/loan and don't pay till February 2023. RBC makes it better.
Get a loan and don't pay till New Year. To RBC.
Basha Isaacs, Officer, Supervision Department.
Sam Campbell, Assistant Manager in the Office of the Executive Director. The Securities Commission of Bahamas seeks to protect people who want to invest in the capital markets.
We only allow the most competent people to be licensed to be able to handle financial investments.
The Securities Commission of the Bahamas is important because we want you to know that you can build wealth through investing in the capital markets. When the capital markets work well, the economy works well.
Eleuthera residents, this one's for you. The Water and Sewage Corporation's working to address that island's long-standing water woes fueled by supply disruptions at the desalination plant. Acknowledging it's a matter of deep concern, Works and Utilities Minister, the Honourable Alfred Sayers, apologized to residents. He also commended staffers who have had to go into well fields to work overnight to restore water supplies.
We have ordered two storage tanks, 1 million imperial gallon each. Those tanks are being manufactured and I understand will be available near the middle of next year. In the intervening period, temporary tanks are being secured, and also the water wells in Eleuthera are being rehabilitated because, as you know, the supply is by way of desalination.
Now, Sayers admits BBL has also been a challenge as power disruptions affect the pumping of water. He added that the corporation is in negotiations with Aqua Design, the desalination plant, as there is a legacy debt owed to that company and others, with plans to pay in installments.
Some of the contracts, I think there are about 20 contracts, some of them were expiring at different times, and that is being addressed by way of temporary expansion. So currently we are working, the Water and Sewage Corporation is working very aggressively to address the problems, not just in the immediate, but also long term, because the objective is to ensure that we have a sustainable, reliable supply of water.
Drug possession, the alleged reason 3 cruise passengers are under investigation. In the first incident, a 23-year-old Orlando, Florida resident was found with a quantity of suspected marijuana while aboard a cruise ship docked at Princess Keys, Eleuthera. Less than 2 hours later, a 24-year-old Winter Haven, Florida man and a 33-year-old Lakes Wales, Florida resident were arrested on the same charge. The two are also cruise ship passengers. Now, altogether, the drugs have an estimated street value of $235. Police investigations continue. Well, on a lighter note, it's now time for a check on Family Island weather, and for that, we turn to Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good evening, Basil.
Good evening, Makisha. We're currently under mostly cloudy skies. Temperature at 78 degrees and relative humidity 87%. We have easterly winds at 8 miles per hour. The barometric pressure 1,018.4 millibars. That is 30.11 inches, and the pressure is rising. Temperatures around the Family Violence this evening. They are brought to you by Family Guardian Insurance Company. We're protecting you. 78 degrees in Freeport, Grand Bahama, and Greenville, Key, and Abaco. Marshall at 77 degrees, the Berry Islands 80, 82 degrees in Alistown, Bimini, 78 in Harbor Island, Rock Sound, Eleuthera 79, 80 degrees in Black Point, Exuma, Camp Space on Andros, and Fresh Creek in Central Andros. A string of 79s in Otterstown, Cat Island, San Salvador, and Rum Key, Georgetown, Exuma, 82, 81 in Rygut Island, Clarencetown, Crooked Island, Betsy Bay, Maguana, Acklands, and Matthew Nagua. They have a temperature of 80 degrees, and the Turks and Caicos Islands at 79 degrees. And your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Builders Mall, home of FYP, the Tile King, and the Pink Center. In the northwestern parts of our country tonight through Thursday, easterly winds at 12 to 18 knots, wave heights 3 to 6 feet with a moderate chop in place, so caution flags are up. Low tide takes place at 7:42 this evening, another low tide at 8:02 tomorrow morning. And for the central and southeastern islands, easterly winds a little stronger at 15 to 20 knots, and the wave heights 4 to 7 feet over the ocean. Caution flags also up for the central and southeastern islands into Thursday. Now, on Friday, we will see an increase in the winds over the northwestern parts of the country. The winds becoming northeast to east at 15 to 20 knots. Wave heights around 4 to 7 feet. Low tide at 9:11 in the morning with your high tide at 3:12 in the afternoon for the central and southeastern islands on Friday. Further increase in the winds as well, becoming very strong at 15 to 25 knots out of the northeast to east. Those wave heights, they're going to be building 5 to 8 feet over the ocean. So we'll put an advisory in place for boaters in the central and southeastern islands on Friday. That has been your boating forecast. It's time now for your international temperatures, and they are brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. That's going to do it for your international temperatures, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But stay tuned, your extended weather forecast is still ahead.
All right, I'm looking at my dress. You ready for this big party?
Party? Girl, you're gonna have to change your birthday, because I can't make that. After my party, I get a cough, I start having a fever, and then I even had a sore throat. I thought it was the flu. Come to find out it was COVID. Girl, I think you better get tested.
What do you do now? I can't be bothered with COVID, you know.
Girl, you know it ain't never too late to change your plans. Girl, you know they got new testing sites, right? You better go to one of them.
Where are these new sites located anyway?
University of the Bahamas and Golden Gates Plaza. They're open on weekdays from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and on weekends from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. They even have sites in Abaco, Eleuthera, and Exuma, and they're opened on the weekends. Girl, the best part is, it's free.
Thanks for letting me know. I hope you feel better soon.
Message is brought to you by PAHO WHO and the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Get a merry makeover this Christmas from Scotiabank. Apply for a Scotia Plan loan to win a home renovation. This Christmas, unwrap the celebration. $3,000 for your home, new lamp, new decor, new couch that you
Win
own.
a $3,000 home goods gift card when you apply for a Scotia Plan loan this Christmas. We're giving you the gift of a low interest rate and up to 2 months with no payments. Plan the perfect Christmas with your Scotia Plan loan. Use it for any purpose, plus benefit from flexible payment terms. Apply for a Scotia Plan loan now to enter to win a merry home makeover.
Shopping online isn't new to the market, but gaining access to affordable healthcare products at the click of a button is the greatest customer experience. Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies Limited gives access to a complete customer journey, from shopping in our retail store on 9th Terrace, Centerville, to shopping online at your convenience from work or from the comfort of your home. Offering delivery and pickup options. Remember, if it's healthcare, it's here. Shop online today.
We just got the new fiber internet speed bump. Now my internet so fast I can watch 2 4K movies, play video games, and browse on my computer at the same time.
Yeah, my internet so fast I could download a whole season of shows before my noodles run cooking.
Mine so fast when I go to church online, service actually over early.
Mine so fast when I'm working from home, 5 o'clock, come before 3.
Sound like you got this BTC fiber internet speed bump like me.
When it's so fast, I had to have it.
Current fiber internet bundle customers now have as much as 3 times the speed. Totally free. Link up with BTC.
For every $20 deposit, you're entered to win cash.
Sports is being brought to you by Hoopfest in Paradise, December 16th to the 17th at the Kendall Geologic Gymnasium. Hoopfest in Paradise, where stars are born. Welcome to your Wednesday Sports, everyone. I'm Amajal Knowles. 2024, as it was announced earlier today by the World Athletics Council, the Bahamas was successful in its bid to host the next edition of the World Relays. The Bahamas served as host of the first 3 editions of the event in 2014, 2015, and 2017. The Bahamas lost out in hosting the 4th edition in 2019 to Yokohama, Japan, and the 5th edition that took place in Poland. World Athletics Council President Lord Sebastian Coe.
First, I'm absolutely delighted to announce that the recommendation from the bid evaluation panel was, in essence, awarded to and approved. The recommendation was approved to go to the Bahamas and Nassau particularly. This is an important Olympic Games qualifier. We sort of added the jeopardy of making sure that this event had the added component of qualification. It was considered that the Bahamas were the best conditions for the atmosphere, for the athletes and the atmosphere engendered in the relays event ahead of the 2024 Paris Olympic Games.
In college basketball news, Bahamian collegiate hooper Frederick King continuing to contribute to one of the best men's college basketball programs in America. The great men's basketball team matched its best ranking in program history when it earned the number 7 slot in this week's Associated Press Top 25 poll. The Blue Jays, who were ranked 9th in the preseason AP poll and 10th the last 2 weeks, moved up 3 spots after going 2-1 last week at the Maui Invitational. King, who's a freshman on the team, is averaging just under 5 points and 4 rebounds. Yolette McPhee-McCoon and her Ole Miss Lady Rebels continuing to roll. Last night, the Lady Rebs used a powerful defensive effort to break the program record for singles, who are now 7-1, never allowed the Bulldogs to break double digits in a single quarter.
I thought we put together a pretty solid game. We wanted to work on some things this game. We did so by changing up our defense, something that we don't usually do, but we usually don't have an opportunity to get real reps on it. And so that was a call that I made. I thought we did. I thought Destiny stepped up with Maya being out, and then Maddie with another double-double, and Snooder finding her shot is something that we just continually been talking to her about. By just shooting the ball, it'll fall at some point.
Coach Yo on her team's defense.
We have a lot of length on the perimeter, and so I love the fact that we were active, and we did a really good job of just, eating up the space with our size and our length, and it made it difficult for Alabama A&M to get some shots off. So we were still active, and we were able to get some steals and some fast break points because of it.
Still on women's basketball, but back here on home soil. Disappointing news for the Bahama senior women's national team earlier this month. The group was unable to travel to compete in the 2022 Central Basket Tournament. The reason described by the Bahamas Basketball Federation was a lack of funds. Sports Minister, the Honorable Mario Bolag, at a recent press conference, shed more light on the situation.
I think a decision was made after speaking with the president of the Basketball Federation that it was not in their best financial decision to send that team to represent them at this time because they felt that they had some necessary outstanding bills that came about from the senior men that they wanted to try and reduce. And all of us know it doesn't make any sense to go put yourself in a greater debt by sending another team if you know you have some outstanding bills to pay. Now, someone will ask the question, well, the government should finance 100% of all these teams. The government cannot finance 100% of any national team, and we don't finance national team, we finance federation. That is why this ministry had a budget allocated for the 22-23 year, and those allocations also provide us to have extra funding to give to various federations should the need arise.
In the Hero World Tour underway over at the Albany Resort, the tournament put on by legendary golfer Tiger Woods has already seen some action as Matt Fitzpatrick earned the hero shot at the Albany Championship on Tuesday to officially kick off the event. Fitzpatrick defeated Tom Kim in the final round, walking off with the championship thanks to this bullseye hit on the tricky 87-yard shot into the wind. Fitzpatrick defeated a star-studded field competing, including tournament host Tiger Woods, Justin Thomas, and Tommy Fleetwood. And that's been a look at your sports on this Wednesday. A check on weather when we return. Sports is being brought to you by Hoopfest in Paradise, December 16th to the 17th at the Kendall G. Lazik Gymnasium. Hoopfest in Paradise, where stars are born.
Are you a contractor or new homeowner? Maybe you need a few pieces of lumber for your DIY projects. Welcome to Capital Lumber, the newest building materials company in the Bahamas. Located on Park Gate and Stop Shop for all your building essentials. With free delivery to the mail booth. Visit us today. Capital Lumber. Build strong.
Hey, it's your honorary pump attendant here to educate you on the do's and don'ts at the service station. Here's what you don't do. Do not pull up from the pump without first checking that the nozzle has been removed from your car. Because if you pop this, that's about $600,000 to $30,000 to replace. These things ain't cheap. What you want to do is make sure that the nozzle has been removed or just wait for the universal sign.
Almost every journey starts with your car. We spend most of the early stages of our lives anticipating getting our first set of wheels. When that moment finally comes, let AID be there for all your auto needs. Make it yours by accessorizing, maintaining, and repairing your car with AID. Whether you're a professional mechanic, a recent graduate, a full-time mom, or an I can fix that kind of guy, or if you're completely clueless about what your car needs, AID will assist in providing a large variety of auto parts, a diagnostic center, and great customer service. For all life's auto journeys, we're here. AID, all you really need and more.
People often ask what type of activities are allowed or prohibited in marine protected areas.
It depends on the type of marine protected area or...
As a general rule, any activity that would result in a long-term decline of populations of marine organisms or destruction of their habitats would be restricted or prohibited.
Some activities that may be allowed with regulations or prohibited altogether include boating, anchoring or mooring, collecting or disturbing wildlife, fishing, scuba diving, snorkeling and water sports, dredging, drilling or mining, and dumping or discharging.
And stay for the savings at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets. Devon corned beef, 12 ounce, $2.79. Hunt's tomato paste, 12 ounce, $1.95. Whole chickens, $1.99 per pound. Panama raw shrimp, $41.50, 12 ounce, $5.99. Baking potatoes, 5 pounds, $3.99. Donate your change to help feed the Humane Society animals at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
The pandemic has been not so kind to so many people in our community. And when we think about
to give back, to make small donation, whether it's $20 or whatever you can give, to be able to give and to help those people who are in need.
4th Annual Caribbean Baseball Cup at the new Andre Rogers National Baseball Stadium here in Nassau, Bahamas. On the visitor side is Puerto Rico, U.S. Virgin Islands, Haiti, Curacao, and Cuba. Prepare yourself for exciting adult baseball competition. Home Team Bahamas is ready to take on the world. December 4th through the 11th. Bring it on. Team Bahamas is ready for the world in baseball action. Not on our turf.
The biggest international high school basketball tournament is coming to the Kendall G. Isaacs Gym. You've seen them go viral on social media. Now come and see them in person. December 16th and 17th, catch the biggest names in high school basketball. Get your tickets today from any Suncash location. Download the app or purchase them online at hoops.mysuncash.com or using the QR code on your screen. Hoopfest in paradise, where stars are born.
When a hurricane watch or warning is issued, medical emergency services are placed on high alert. For many persons seeking medical care, defining what an emergency is can be difficult to assess given all that is occurring during the storm. The following basic guidelines are designed to help you assess your emergency. If you are experiencing symptoms like shortness of breath, chest pain, severe pain, disorientation, extreme vomiting or diarrhea, vision disturbance, or suicidal thoughts, you should seek immediate medical assistance. If you are bleeding significantly or otherwise severely injured, seek emergency assistance immediately. Children presenting with symptoms like high fever and extremely listless or lethargic behavior need to be taken to the emergency room immediately. If you are unsure of the extent of your condition, you are advised to seek medical assistance immediately. Share your symptoms with the on-call doctor and get advice as to whether or not it can wait until normal business hours. Remember, emergency care is not a convenient option for basic medical care during a storm. The Public Hospitals Authority reminds the public that in the case of an emergency, always call 911 or head immediately to the emergency room. This message has been brought to you by the Public Hospitals Authority.
The Public Hospitals Authority and the Princess Margaret Hospital advise the public that only emergency cases are encouraged to utilize the emergency department at the Princess Margaret Hospital. Non-emergency patients are asked to contact their primary care physician or utilize community clinics for care. A medical emergency is an acute injury or illness that poses an immediate risk to a person's life or long-term health, sometimes referred to as a situation risking life or limb. If you are unsure whether you require emergency medical assistance, please call 919 or the emergency department at Princess Margaret Hospital at 326-7014 and hospital services.
Hey guys, it's that time of year again, the Atlantic hurricane season. Are you ready? Here's another ZNS hurricane readiness tip to help you prepare. Ed Albury, Vice President with responsibility for claims at J.S. Johnson, lets us know what insurance coverage we could have if we need to live elsewhere after a storm hits while our home is being repaired.
Under the hurricane peril, additional living expenses is not covered. It's covered under fire and escape of water losses. Considering that once you have that cover, it'll pay up to 15%, say, of the sum insured for rental or hotel accommodation while the home is being repaired. So if we use our same figure that we did before, $200,000, so 15% is $30,000. So you have that $30,000 buffer to provide for hotel or rental while the home is being repaired. So the contractor will come and say, oh, listen, it'll take 5 to 6 months to repair the home. So you will have that money there ready to pay for those accommodations to cover that period.
And does our policy help with debris removal after a storm?
Debris removal, clearing the site and making it more inhabitable, that is covered under the policy already.
This has been another ZNS Hurricane Readiness Tip to prepare you for the storm.
Time now for weather. In our final look at weather, we have a little weak troughing across the central Bahamas, and that could fire 1 to 2 passing showers tonight in that part of the area. And then there's another frontal system across central Florida that's moving towards the southeast. We expect it to push through there. Looking at partly cloudy with a passing shower possible, 73 degrees for your low temperature. And tomorrow it's going to be partly sunny, a bit on the breezy side, but by evening you'll see some clouds start to build up, showers developing as that frontal boundary gets a little closer. 83 degrees for your high temperature. And the extended weather forecast frontal boundary goes through on Friday, by the way, and once that front goes through, as we promised you, the winds will pick up some breezy conditions Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, but the skies will clear up on Saturday, so beautiful weather over the weekend, save for those windy conditions. Temperature-wise, so we're going to see some low 80s during the daytime. In the nighttime temperatures, eventually we're going to get you in the upper 60s, and that will take place the early part of next week. Okay, sure.
Well, thanks, Basil. That does it for the Bahamas tonight. Thank you for continuing to make ZNS your first choice for news and information. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS.